La Floride est un des États-Unis où il y a le plus de flamants roses, d'alligators, de pamplemousses, de flics à Miami et de vieux retraités bourrés de dollars. Mais c'est aussi celui où il y a le plus de death metal. Voilà pourquoi Metal Express se devait d'exploser son budget pour vous la faire découvrir en urgence.
There's very little to do in Tampa. Everything is geared towards the tourists, people on holiday, and older people. Everything is for the retired people. So the kids that were here, they didn't know what to do. And they ended up playing their music in their garages and just forming their own type of sounds. And it evolved from there. I guess Chuck and Death, they were pretty much one of the originals in this area. And it just evolved, and now it's gotten to be a worldwide phenomenon.
There's a lot of culture here. Tampa's an old city. It has a lot of people from very different backgrounds, a lot of different cultures, different languages. And anytime you get that kind of a melting pot type environment, you're going to get a lot of influences from different sources. Tampa is really good music scene here. There's a really good music scene in Miami. Orlando has some good bands. Florida is just a really diverse area. I mean, you have people from all walks of life here. And so I don't think that there's any one factor that would contribute more to it being a death metal place.
I don't really think that, drugs or the violence problems that are occurring in Florida really have a lot to do with the brutal quality of some of the music that comes from the area, I mean, I think that there's a lot of drugs and violence problems in many places,
Instead of beating the shit out of somebody like a skinhead, you try and take it out in your music and be brutal and stuff like that, and you know what I mean? In other words, there's other ways to take out your aggravations, and some's through music, and not everybody wants to sing love songs and stuff like that, I mean, the guys in Cannibal Corpse, they definitely don't go around, they like to write about people hacking up people and serial killers, but they definitely don't do it. I mean, why do people make horror films?
As far as the brutal thing goes, I think it's more or less in your roots is the way I look at it. It's in my roots is to do that. I don't need anything to influence me to write the way I write and stuff. Is no matter where I am at. I could be at a wedding and thinking of a riff for the next album. It's just more or less it's in your roots or how you think.
There really aren't very many limits on death metal. However, I think really the only thing that can come to a certain barrier is the vocals. As a singer, a death metal singer, I try to make things interesting and as catchy as possible.
Maybe 15 years ago, maybe Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols was the most over the top, or and then when Kronos came out, he was pretty over the top, and Tom Warrior, whoever, or Lemmy, I mean, when he first came out, but yeah, and everybody, as things go on, people try and get more over the top, and and I think every so often the new singers come along that, get more and more brutal, whether it's Barney or, John Tardy.
Obituary is not a band that is out to preach or to teach anybody anything. We're not a political band.
I was coming to town. It's competition, Everyone's gonna be a little edgy, because you know, 4 or 5 years ago, there's maybe just a handful of bands. Now there's 3 handfuls of bands, and you know, everyone. It's just like any business, actually. It's just competition.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of bands here, but there definitely isn't that much of an audience. I mean, most bands that live here won't pull over 400 people to a show. I mean, and I'm talking just anybody that plays here that's from Florida, but when you bring an out-of-town band in, for some reason, you get 600, 700, 800 people at the show sometimes.
I feel that there's definitely a competitive vibe throughout a lot of bands. It seems like everyone wants to try to outdo everyone else, and there's a definite animosity between certain bands. You know, I like to be on good terms with bands, and I like for people to know that I'm not trying to have like a contest. I think there's room for everybody.
Amongst the bands who seem to do pretty well, namely us and Obituary and Deicide, and you know, some of the bands that that sell more records. There's like a lot of respect, because I mean, everyone is done. Everyone's doing their own thing. No one's really ripping each other off. I mean, we don't sound anything like Obituary, and Obituary doesn't sound anything like Deicide. So I mean, it's just everyone's kind of doing their own thing.
I mean, there's some bands that are satanic, but I mean, I'd say they're few and far between, I mean, it's just, I think Satan makes a good, it's a brutal topic, I mean, it's a lot more brutal than singing about God, I guess, so it's good topic matter, and some bands, that's their religious beliefs, so I mean, that's what they sing about. But no, I mean, people that go around and saying that kids in the death metal are Satanists, I mean, that's, a load of crap.
It's not just a job. We don't look at it as, well, we have to play these songs to make money. We look at it as, well, we have art. We're artists. I think of myself as an artist, and my whole life is like pivots around my art. And, I'm always trying to create and stuff like that, and that's what I'm mainly into. It is like a record to me is like a sculpture. It's something that was an idea, and it came into the material plane through the artist.
People, they just say it's noise and shit, but it's not. I mean, it's great music. It's just an alternative form of music. It's not, a commercial form of rock. I mean, it's people that, I don't know, maybe think a little different or like something a little more extreme.
There's so much hostility in life that you have to suppress, and this is a way to get it out, and it doesn't hurt anybody. You can go into a mosh pit and bang around all you want and really get into the music. You could feel the music. It's not wimpy music, and you can get your aggressions out, and you walk out and you just feel drained. If the world would listen to death metal music, there probably wouldn't be any more wars.
In thing now, so I look at the death metal scene nowadays, like now in '92, as the Bay Area speed metal scene was in like '84, '85. This is the way it is now. It's just everything's becoming really cluttered. There's a million bands doing it, and I've come to the conclusion that it's going to level off within the next couple of years. I think it's going to come to a peak, and the strong bands are going to survive, and the bands that are just trundling along in the thing are going to fall off.
My theories of life and philosophies is live and let live, and do what you feel is best for yourself, and let other people be the judge of what's best for them, and separate yourself from people who are different rather than try to fight them. Just, let them travel their path and you travel your own. But as far as there is aggression, and the Ancient Ones stand for aggression, and I have aggression deep inside of my spirit, and it's definitely, like I said, it's a vessel. You know, it's the music interprets, it gives voice to this thing I'm talking about.